Hey guys, so yesterday I did the home theater tour, and while I covered most of it, there was actually a couple things that I forgot to mention that I thought I'd cover in this part 2 video. And I'd also go into some detail about some of the wiring and how I did some of the setup. So to get started, I talked about the sound yesterday and how I had all paradigm, and I had essentially what was a 5.1 is what I showed in the video, but I actually am set up for what they call 5.1.1 currently. And what that means is, you see in the ceiling right here, I have a 8.5-inch speaker, and then over here I have another 8.5-inch speaker, and that is for Dolby Atmos. And if I wanted to, I could actually upgrade this room to be 5.1.2, and what that means is 5 speakers around for the normal channels, and then the Dolby Atmos would be the 0.1, the 5.1, and then the subs here, I can actually add another sub where I have a jack already run into my media closet where I could do 5.1.2 to kind of even out the bass. So to give you an idea of how I kind of wired this up was, above me is an actual attic, and so it's easy to get around. And then I ran all the wires up there and ran them into this closet here, which actually comes back to this plate. That's actually a 7.1.2 plate, so it allows for 7 channels, and then I have 2 plugins for subs, and then also have the height channels that I can plug in for the Atmos speakers that are in the ceiling. So I think that pretty much covers the sound. Something else I didn't cover in my other video is actually I have a fridge in here, so for drinks and everything, which is nice. And here in this panel is actually where I do all my wiring for the whole house. So I have my router here, and that actually runs to another access point, which is the AC access point in our master bedroom, which is more centralized, and that can spread better throughout the house. Then I have my just a standard switch here that feeds all the rooms Ethernet. And then here is actually the SmartThings Hub that controls my lighting and allows me to tie it into my Kodi system and the remote control that I showed in my last video. By the way, if you haven't seen my last video, just check the comments below and you can see part 1. What else? So the system here, a little bit more detail on this. So pretty straight up setup. It's got an i3 processor, it's got 4 gig of RAM, and just an SSD hard drive. And then, like I said in the last video, it has Kodi Ubuntu installed on a Linux operating system. And then this little guy here is what I found to actually control the Kodi system via the remote. And what it's called is FLIRC. So it's, I don't know if you can see it here, FLIRC. And that little unit actually just plugs in, it's plug and play. And then you can actually configure the software on the Harmony 1 unit to actually integrate with this. So this Harmony 1 hub actually takes RF signals from the other room, so there is no infrared from that room, sends the signals to this hub, and this hub actually shoots out IR signals to all the devices in this room, to this little guy for the controls of Kodi, and then to the receiver for volume control and changing inputs and things like that. So that's pretty much how the setup works in here and how the remote control works. And then out here yesterday I didn't really talk about the projector. So the projector is actually the BenQ 1070, W1070. It's probably the best projector I think you can really buy for under $800. And it performed really on level close to those that are in like the $3,000 range. So I highly recommend that. Currently 1080p, and hopefully in the future I'll be able to upgrade to the 4K content once it's more readily available. As far as the couch, so the couch is actually one that I found in a store local to here, and it's called the Wrangler model couch. And all the recliners recline. The 2 in the middle actually had gotten powered, so you can actually plug those in. And then the ones on the outside here are rockers and recliners. And then also a nice feature of this is inside of these containers, there's actually plug-in for USB to charge your devices and everything. So that's nice to have. Which also reminds me, another nice thing that I did was up in the ceiling behind the projector, I actually ran USB along with the HDMI for the video signal. And the USB cable actually connects to a hub that I have in the attic. And that hub has the Xbox controller, has the wireless keyboards, everything up there that can actually transmit down near the couch where I'm sitting, so that I have control of those peripherals. What else? So the only other thing is the switches. These were kind of tricky. So with the new LED lighting where I did the recessed lights, I actually had to find a switch that would work with those, and I tried several of them. And the one that I ended up getting that would actually control the LEDs properly without any type of like flickering or buzzing was actually a company called Levitron that I found at Home Depot. And that switch is a smart switch that connects into that SmartThings Hub that I actually showed in the closet. And it allows you to control the lights from the SmartThings Hub, which then connects into the Harmony One Hub and allows me to control the lights from the remote. And this switch here in the middle is what controls my eyeball lights, and that is also a smart switch and is one by GE that I use that works fine with the eyeball lights because they're incandescent, just regular bulbs, and those don't really have a problem with dimmer switches or smart switches in general. And both of these use the Z-Wave technology, so you can really use any smart hub that you like that supports Z-Wave, so that's nice for the wireless feature. And then this switch here is just an on and off that will be for the fans. Other than that, that's pretty much about it that I can think of. Maybe if you guys are interested, I can also talk about the Kodi setup and how that works in all the rooms. So like I can literally watch any of my movies, TV shows in this room and then walk downstairs or into any of the other rooms that have the Kodi setup, and it will allow me to pick up exactly where I left off. It shows which movies I've watched in all the rooms. So it works pretty much everywhere. It's just seamless throughout the house, so that's a really nice setup. And it's something that most people can do nowadays. It's gotten pretty easy to do. So if you guys have any other questions, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to do a video and show you guys what I got. Thanks.